And
Christy Torres.
here coming live. We don't have our theme music or our thumbnail right now because we are just literally going off of our webcam here. We've got speakers here tomorrow
Yes.
doing a big shoot. And so we had an event Saturday here with Christy's Pompano
My
women
women's group.
over group here. Awesome women.
Yeah.
And so we're in flux. Yeah. So that's it for today. We are talking about focusing on the finish line and basically focusing on, do you finish what you start, and figuring out why some people don't finish what they start, and some ways that you can see things through to the completion. And what had we come up with this one? Oh, I know, because tomorrow night is our big finale for our speaker mastermind program. And we had about 12 people sign up for that. And probably 10 made it through to the end, to week 6. And then 2 of them were remote, coming from not South Florida. So that left 8 that should be showing up here tomorrow night to film.
Yeah.
And have that speaker reel. So we had, and it was only 7 weeks. So we had the 6 weeks, Tuesday evenings. Yeah. And that was a pretty good completion rate, right? Losing 2 out of 2 out of 12. One of them quit right away because this wasn't for her what she needed in her career.
She was more advanced, I think.
Much more advanced. And then the other person had technical problems like 3 weeks in a row, and they were like, and it was his second time through.
Yeah, exactly.
So really, if you looked at the people who first timers through and who really understood what they were getting when they signed up, that's a 100% completion rate.
Yeah.
Which says a lot about me.
Yeah. How good you are. Well, even for me, I'm not a speaker.
Well, not a professional stage speaker, but you're a presenter.
Right. I do
present.
Yeah, I do present. And I got a lot out of it. I learned some things. I learned that I have a lot of work to do.
We all learn that every time we try to learn something new.
Yeah.
So what was the difference, I guess, between these people starting this course and finishing it, and most people starting a course and not finishing it? I think one of the things is it was really well targeted. I picked professional speakers or aspiring professional speakers who had what I thought was the right attitude, what I thought was a well mixed group. It was a very interactive group.
Yeah,
very engaging platform. So everyone, I think, felt like they had a voice every week and saw progression.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I think there was a lot of value in the class, especially for the group that you had this time.
And we brought in professional sage advisors.
Yeah, so a lot of really good people, world-class speakers every week. And so I think, if there's value there, they're going to show up.
People will show up.
Especially when they need help, or they need some guidance, or they need to learn a new industry, or how to, get business.
Yeah. So I think if you are someone signing up for something and you typically don't finish, are you looking into it enough? Are you sure what you're getting before you sign up, so you're not wasting your time or your money? Yeah. And if you're somebody who's going to start a class and you want people to see it through, are you packing it full of value?
Which I think you did.
We did in this case, but this was our third one.
Yeah.
And each of the ones prior to this, we didn't finish with 100%, but we finished higher than 50%.
Okay.
For about the same people, about 10 people per course. That's another thing too. Are you shooting too high? Are you going for 100 people and you're making it so broad that you can't give people a voice? So then you're losing 80% and finishing with 20.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, 20 is more than 8, right? So you'd finish more. The problem is, how are your reviews going to look? Your testimonials? Do you have those 20? Are they ravenous 20 that are going to go tell everyone? Or are they like, listen, you start off with 100, if we finish with 20, and that's because, whatever, they're the kind of people that said, I paid for this and I'm just going to go to every course no matter what. Where our 8 out of 12 or our 10 out of 12, they're I'm setting up a camera anyway, and I'm going to be saying, do your testimony. And actually, we already got one back from Laura. Yeah. That's a pretty good video testimony that we can now use and leverage. So it's not all about the numbers.
No, I think, finding the people that are right for what you're offering is big also.
Yeah. And then I think everyone in there really did a good job participating. So are you the kind of person, when you get into a program, are you participating, or are you just cruising along? Are you taking advantage of whatever you're in? And so, and that, not just coursework, but this would apply to maybe following up on your referrals and stuff. I know we talked about, what are we going to talk about today? And we talked about maybe referrals. This could really apply to that too. You have a list of names that you've acquired over time. How engaging are you making yourself? How much value are you giving these people? Are you just reaching out to them? Actually, are you reaching out to them at all?
Right.
Are you following through? So the finish for a referral, somebody, let's not call it a referral, let's call it a contact.
Yeah.
Or what is finishing? Right. It's closing the sale. In your case, right? As a realtor.
In my case, yeah.
Or having them refer somebody to you that gets you a close. So okay, you have a stack of business cards from X number of networking events. Okay, you open a drawer and you put them in, and is that finished? I mean, that's not finished, right? Now, what is how could you make it engaging and be valued to these people, instead of just giving them a weekly email blast of what you do, sending them things particular to them? It's a lot more work. But if you're sending things particular to their interest or what they're looking for, or even just what they do for a living, or maybe some hobbies, now you're going to have an engaging exchange with each of these people. And I think you're going to be a much more, as Ray Leon says, tome, right? Top of mind awareness of you and what you're doing. So
same thing, like with following up, instead of mass following up, you find some value. Or I also like to connect people.
That's a good one. That's a good value.
Connecting people where you guys might be able to leverage your business against each other. Or, someone has a product that you might be interested in, vice versa.
Or you're keeping up with them on Facebook and Instagram, and you see they post something. You could do an introduction based on an ask that they have, or just something that you kind of know they could use that introduction. Something that could help add value to their business or their life.
Yeah, so I guess when I was talking about referrals, I really meant like introduction.
Yeah.
Something like, how do you, put people together that might help each other?
Well, one is doing it over and over. Right? Getting used to being that person of introduction.
I think that's just the way my brain works. Like, I'm always, when I meet somebody new, it's like, oh, how can I help you?
Yeah.
Or who do I know that can help you? And I try to put them together.
Yeah. So focusing on finishing the relationship, it's the ROR. So ROI is return on investment. Steve Nudelberg and them talk about ROR, return on relationship. So what is that return? The return is kind of doing some business at some point with them or someone they know.
Yeah.
And it's creating that revenue on the relationship, but not a transactional way, but more of a lifetime, long-term thing.
And so if you know someone that has a business and that product you might not be able to use, help them and help, reach out to your network and find the people that could possibly use them. And I think that's more valuable than running ads or, trying to reach out. That's like,
really, and that algorithm never changes.
No,
either.
No, but it does take time.
Yeah.
To make that introduction, to think about the person. And, I enjoy doing that. I'm always looking for ways to help other people.
So I guess another thing that stops people from finishing things is doing too many things at once.
Yeah.
I was guilty of that forever. And I
Yeah.
just very recently kind of pared down and
Yeah, you
focused
did.
and
You were
buckled down.
like all over the place.
I've been that
for
way
a
my
long
whole
time.
life, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm still an immersion person, so I do believe in immersing myself
Yeah.
in what I'm doing. But at this point, it's one thing. It's still a wheel with maybe 5 spokes that I'm doing 5 things a day, but they're all very, very closely related.
Mm-hmm.
They're really, really closely related.
Yeah.
And it's the means to the middle hub, which is for me getting on stages and speaking and feeding these other spokes.
Mm-hmm.
So having that shiny squirrel syndrome, chasing different things.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have that? Is that something that you could do? Paring down on the things that you're
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah, because your time is really
How
valuable.
many groups? I mean, how many groups are there now to join? Jeez.
Yeah.
I got groups that I love,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to say no to a bunch of them, to a lot of them.
There's only so much energy you can put into things like that.
Right.
You have to really kind of.
And it's not just the hour for the week.
Right.
It's the engaging with the members, and then it's the retreats that every one of these things seem to have, and it's like, wow, which one though is going to feed my bottom line of the one thing, that hub and the spokes, the most? Because you can go, I see value in that, I see fun in that, I see relationships in there, but it's just so many of these things that we can do. So how
or if you're not involved in any networking groups or any type of events or something, research those in your industry and get involved. I think that helps.
And then the last thing we'll touch on, because it's a pretty simple thing today, but do you have a problem finishing things because you don't start them?
I'm guilty of that.
Well, Don Shula, probably the best, most prolific, winningest football coach in NFL history. In everybody's terms, I think that's universal. I think everyone would agree that Don Shula was the best coach ever. Much better than Bill Belichick.
I don't really know
much better.
Sports talk,
this is a true statement.
I'll believe you.
True, definitely true. You'll see. You'll see the comments come. That's 100% easy slam dunk, Don Shula. But he said it's the start that stops most people. And that's one of my favorite quotes by anyone, because that's never stopped me. I'm the opposite, where I start too many things. But a lot of people are afraid to take that first step for a number of reasons. Yours isn't. You actually do take a lot of first steps, but it's the implementation, I think, of the steps. Where you're just a different personality. We know about DISC and all that stuff.
If I get overwhelmed or I just don't have time to focus on it, I'll put it on the back burner.
I think it goes further than that. I think it's more if you're not enjoying the process of whatever that is. A lot of people, they don't like doing the stuff they don't like to do.
Right.
And in anything that we do, there's elements of things we don't like to do.
Right.
So things won't get done without everything being done. So when you focus on doing, like for me, I really got to watch this place. My favorite part is the mechanical part, setting up the scenes, moving the cameras, really getting into the tech, and not spending any time with putting the maybe, I don't know, putting asses in the seats, right? Like everything's set up, and then it's like, oh, we got everything's perfect. And I've got 3 people signed up. It starts in 4 days, and I wanted 10.
Right.
And I end up going and getting 10, but it's the worst part of it for me. It's the hardest part, but the technical stuff on the front of it.
But why is that the hardest part? Because you don't enjoy that part, or?
Because I like instant gratification.
Yeah.
So for me, one of my crazy Kates say, our Aunt Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
Love you. It's the pitch, telling people about it and getting the maybes or the we'll sees or all that stuff.
And following up with them.
Doing all that stuff. It's not instant gratification where if I'm setting things up and I'm rerouting wires, I'm making it all pretty. It's just instant feedback. Even this is why we're going live, because we don't have to do any of the post editing, and it's instant. It's instant right there. Bam, Kathy. She's on here. She's seeing us. John White yesterday. Happy birthday, John White.
Yeah.
Mr.
Last night we went to his birthday party.
My other daddy. Happy 80th birthday party. Thanks for having us at your party. But that,
Yeah.
we were talking about the front end of it, which today we didn't have the card and we didn't have the theme music and everything because, we're just doing it with the computer and the
but it's okay.
Mexico. It's fine.
Sometimes. Yeah, I actually like it better.
Well, I don't. I like the front of it because now I got to go to the back end and put those thumbnails on YouTube and everything.
Oh, okay.
But in the past, my other show, I would have 5 hours of editing after because it's got to be polished and we take out the flubs and all that stuff. And now, and then we have a bunch of graphics we put in. Now it's live. You just can't do that. It's live. I mean, you could take those things and still do that, but
so I think
the bang isn't there for the buck for what we do.
Like in my case, and I'm sure a lot of other entrepreneurs out there, it's like, what can you afford to delegate that you don't like? And that for me, I struggle with because I want to control everything.
Delegate, yeah.
So I try to do it all, but then I quickly realize, like, hey, I need help. I just don't have enough hours in the day. And also I don't enjoy that work.
Yeah.
So like now with my CRM, I'm just going to hire someone to set it up because I've been saying I'm going to do it for months and months and, going into the tutorials and things like that. And it's like, I just don't like doing this part.
Yeah.
I like the face-to-face. I like the relationships. I like
it's
showing
the learning
properties.
curve.
I like going and meeting people. It's like that back end stuff. I want to be able to set it and forget it, but I don't know how to set it and forget it.
Right. So, it's the learning part. That's the hard part, the uncomfortableness. And I do like that kind of stuff.
You want to do it?
Well, listen, I wish I could have time. Does
it have to be cash?
So yeah, exactly. You're getting in a dangerous zone here. So again,
John,
it's finishing what we start. How guilty of we all at starting things and not finishing. And yes, John is 80. Doesn't look a day over. Well, his what is it? His maturity. I think he's less than half of that, probably 30.
Well, that's what keeps him young.
He didn't ask me to pull his finger yesterday. That was good. That was good. And he didn't fall asleep.
No.
Which in the old days, Johnny used to be the king of falling asleep.
So he's actually getting better with age.
Yeah, but it was great. It was great being around everybody. Great food. Thanks, Robin and Mike, for having us there. Kim and seeing the kids there. It was fun. So anyway, finishing back to our point, finishing this episode, finishing what we started.
We got to finish.
Let's go ahead and say that, we have, we're finishing the speaker program. We have a new one starting in April. It's not a mastermind. It's different. I'll be speaking about it in depth tomorrow. It's called the Successful Speaker Sessions. And it's going to be extremely, extremely high value for the dollar ratio.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazily.
You're offering a lot.
I actually lowered it a lot from when we talked.
Yeah.
Last from what you've seen. So we actually added more and took money away. So it's going to be crazy. But tune in tomorrow to see that. We have, speaking of back end, you talked about a big back end. Michelle Villalobos is big back end.
Who's that?
She's a professional speaker who's speaking at FSA on Saturday, April 13th here in Fort Lauderdale.
Right.
So no matter where you are in the country, if you'd like to learn about selling on the back end of your speaking business, that's what Michelle's program's about, her big back end.
Okay.
Creative, catchy name that people giggle at and remember. But no matter where you are, you can just tune in via Zoom on Saturday, April 18th. We are growing that chapter. Yeah. It's up to 65 members. Very proud of everyone. But because of people like Michelle coming in, we just had Kelly Swanson, crazy Kelly Swanson in here talking about her world. So check that out.
A lot of good speakers.
Yeah. Speaking is what we're doing here. So today was sponsored by Coaching Done Better. If you want to increase your mind, body, your business, look into Coaching Done Better. Dozens of coaches on there, adding more each week. And that's it. We will see you tomorrow. We're going to talk about the Successful Speaker Series tomorrow. So tune in at 2:30. That rhymed. I'm a poet, and I didn't even know I was one.
Awesome.
It's a good one.
Everybody have a great day and finish what you started.
Yeah. Love you, Kate.